to order. Please rise for the flag salute.
Recording in progress.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll do roll call real quick. Councilor Effelman.
Present.
Councilor Hutchison.
Here.
Councilor Youngman. All right. Councilor Merritt.
Present.
Councilor Papke. Councilor Law.
Present.
And I'm present. So we have 5. We have a quorum. Before we vote on anything, I'll double check to make sure that they're still not here. Eric, if you're filling in for Steve, are there any additions to the agenda?
Yes, Steve Forrester was unable to attend, and no, Mayor, there are no additions to the agenda.
Okay. So seeing that there's nothing else, we'll move right on to the resolution. Resolution number 1511, exempting from competition a contract for the repair of the City of Prineville Railway Bridge on Oregon Highway 26. Matt Lederholt.
So thank you for taking your guys' time at noon on Friday. Timing's kind of crucial for us. So no staff report. We'll just go through the recitals real quick. Again, this is to exempt from going out to competitive bidding. So this gives resolution number 1266 authorizes the city council to, as a review board, to exempt from competitive bidding and award to a specific contract or class of contracts. We did go out, this is a public comment, so we did put a public notice in on January 7th for today's meeting in the Daily Journal. We also published in January 11th and 18th in the Central Oregonian for today's meeting. And James earlier said that there was no written comments. Of course, today is the public hearing. So it's the city resolution 1266. I'm asking for the following findings as their basis for exemption from city's competitive bidding and the requirements, the award of contract for transportation public improvement project of repairing the railroad bridge located on Highway 26. And that nature is the following contract of $94,015. It is a prevailing wage contract because it is over $50,000. So you know that this contract will be for the repair of the bridge, and it will also include the flagging and so forth of the highway. We'll have to shut the highway, one lane of the highway down for 5 days during the repair. So the findings to support this are as followed, and I'll hit some of the highlights that I think are the most important. The railroad bridge repair is very specialized. So through the Federal Railroad Administration, there are requirements for contractors to work on railroad property. So quickly, what I want for the record to know, for the council to know, and for the record, I have received the requirements from the contractor already that allows them to go on our property. So they've provided their 219, 217, 218, and 243 programs. That's very important for the railroad to have. So that authorizes them to come onto our railroad property. So we do have all of their required documentation. So I did receive that. So that gives them that qualification to come on our property. So we have that in our hand. They do have the tools and materials to come onto to do the repair. We've checked them out. And then based on the limited number of contractors and their availability, they would like to start Monday. Monday or Tuesday, they'd like to come in and start working on the bridge. I was notified about an hour ago. What could push that out a little bit is we're having problems with an ODOT permit to get traffic control. So we're starting to work through that, but they would like to start moving in as early as the beginning part of next week. So you can see that's why today's meeting was important to discuss this, and we're just trying to get this thing just get it going here. So we could have it finished as early as maybe next Friday or Saturday. So it's if we did not move forward with awarding this to Koppers, it's anticipated that it could take as much as 3 months to do the competitive bid process. We'd have site visits and so forth, preparing the documentation. As you guys know, this is what we hope to be insurance reimbursement. So we're really trying to limit our exposure with staff time and any other expenses with this. So, trying to get this done is is in our best interest. And again, it says here, Koppers has available personnel to complete the job within 30 days. Like I just explained, we're hoping that we get going on this as early as next week, provided we can get ODOT to push that permitting process up quicker. Than they want 28 days, but we're trying to work with them, and we're hoping to get that pushed up quicker. So Koppers is highly recommended by our railroad engineer of record, which is Railstar. I personally have not, just so you know, done a lot of work with Koppers, but I do trust our railroad engineer. He's been, as I explained in our railroad briefing a couple council meetings ago, I have a lot of faith with Ken and Railstar, and they have done a lot of work with Koppers, so they are recommending them. So I put a lot of faith in Ken. So in addition to those findings, and based on their availability, we're asking that you guys take in consideration of approving this resolution number 1551 or 1511 this afternoon to let them proceed with their signing the contract. Jared, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I can supplement the record a little bit before we open it up for a public hearing. As Mr. Reederholt indicated, we're here today to exempt this particular award from competitive bidding. This is allowed pursuant to Resolution 1266. The City Council is the contract review board, and basically what the rules state is that any transportation project over $50,000 must go out to a competitive bid unless it's exempted by the City Council. In order to have an exemption, this particular exemption being a direct award to Koppers, the City Council has to have this public hearing, and it has to be noticed to the state, or not to the state, it has to be noticed in a journal or a publication of statewide circulation. That's the Daily Journal of Commerce, at least 14 days before the hearing. That was done. It also has to be noticed in a local paper. We had notice on January 11th and January 18th in the Central Oregonian. And that's just because it's a public improvement contract. What's most important to realize with this particular ask that Mr. Reederholt is making is a highly specialized field that we're asked that we're contracting for. And so as I think this council is well aware, in November of last year, we had an accident on this bridge. An RV hit the bridge, causing damage to it and causing limitations to our railway operations, albeit not as bad as it certainly could be. But nevertheless, the railway has been operating with speed restrictions and weight restrictions, so it's not 100% capable and needs to have this bridge repaired. There's only a handful of companies in the country that are qualified to do this particular work, and none of them are geographically close to our region, to my understanding. This particular group is out of Wisconsin. The reason for the timing of this hearing is they already had planned jobs in the Northwest. And so they had contacted us, letting us know, hey, we're going to be in the Northwest in January. We could put this into our schedule and get this done. And so that's the reason why we're having the public hearing today, but also the reason why the resolution is prepared today. Normally, we have a public hearing and then a resolution thereafter. But because of this timing element, we have both of them in for your review today. Another important part of that draft findings that Mr. Wiederholt referenced, those draft findings have been available to the public beginning January 7th. And so that's also pursuant to our rules of resolution 1266. If Koppers, if the council would rather do competitive bid, that is the council's decision. However, from a timing standpoint, it would be until, my understanding, Mr. Wiederholtz can correct me if I'm wrong, it'll be mid to late summer before any company would likely get back into this region to fix that bridge.
You're exactly right. They were thinking probably somewhere in the July to August. What we would prefer from the railroad standpoint is, Jared's exactly right. We are moving over at speed restrictions. For us, what we consider our heavyweight cars or our asphalt cars, which are the upper end cars that we haul on this line, start to move in the middle to end of February. So from an operation standpoint, it makes us a little more comfortable if we could get this wrapped up before our heavyweight traffic starts to move this early spring and into the summer. So it makes us more comfortable before we start hauling that heavier traffic as well. But Jared's exactly right. They're coming out of that Washington State, traveling through. The proposal that they provided us, that $90,000 proposal, it didn't include transit time in it. That was repair because they're in the area. So if we were to go out to bid, I don't know what the bid would be, but you would have transit time and other costs. So.
All right, thanks, Matt. Well, I will open the public hearing. And Jared already read through most of what I had to say about the public hearing. James, you said there was no written comment. Is there anybody on the line now?
There is not.
Okay, well, if there's no one on the line and there was no written comment, I will close the public hearing. And we will move on to council discussion. Is there anybody from the council that would like to discuss this before we move forward?
This is Steve Uffelman, and I just want to reiterate what you folks have already stated, that we have gone through all of the hoops as far as notification of the public, notification of the bidders. We've gone through all the necessary channels to be sure that we have made this as public as possible moving forward, but understanding that we do have a concern about getting this project moved forward, I would encourage us to go forward and approve the proposal.
All right, thanks, Steve. I agree with that. It sounds like this needs to be taken care of sooner rather than later. Does anybody else from the council have any discussion or anything they'd like to say?
So this is Janet. I think Matt said that insurance was paying for this. Is that right, Matt?
We're hoping, Janet. So without getting too far, what we've done is we filed a claim with our insurance company. What we hope is that obviously the person that hit the bridge, is the insurance company, is going to pay for it. But we've also filed one with our insurance company. Right now, our concern is to get the bridge fixed. We don't have any guarantee right now of what pool the money is going to come out of, meaning right now we're chasing three options. We filed a claim with our insurance company. We've also submitted all of the costs towards his insurance company. Without getting too into it in a public meeting, I would say that I was also contacted by the victim's advocate, and I've submitted the costs through the victim's advocacy for reimbursement as well. So there's 3 possibilities from reimbursement at this point. We don't know which one of those 3 directions we're going to get reimbursed quite yet.
Thanks, Matt, for your explanation. And
Yeah.
I agree with Steve and with Jason. We need to move forward with this as quickly as possible while they're in the area, because if not, then we have to pay for the mobilization costs also for the company to move in to do the work, plus the limitations that it has on you guys. So I'm in favor of it also.
Right, Janet, Counselor, right now, my focus has been to get the bridge repaired and the cost established, the bridge repaired. The railroad's in a financial position right now. Obviously, this would be a financial hit, but we're at least in a good position where we can get this thing repaired. And then now step 2 is we're going after who's paying it, whether it's our insurance company or whatever. I mean, it's going to be an insurance claim somewhere. And that will be future discussions. I'm sure, we're definitely going to have those discussions with both, the Railroad Commission and the council that will be informed, obviously, but I just can't answer that 100% quite yet. So.
That's okay. You've done a great job explaining it. And I don't need any more details for today to be able to make a call on it. Thank you.
Well, if there's no further discussion from the council, open to a motion to approve resolution number 1511.
This is Steve Uffelman. I move to approve resolution number 1511.
This is Janet. I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 1511. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll go through a roll call vote. Counselor Uffelman,
Aye.
Counselor Hutchison,
Aye.
is Counselor Youngman with us? Counselor Merritt,
Aye.
did Counselor Papke make it? Counselor Law,
Aye.
and the mayor votes aye, so it passes unanimously. Thank you, everyone. I don't believe we have anything else. James, I doubt there's anybody online to talk to us. And if not, I'm open to a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
all.